I'm Mel Stewart, and this is the SwimSwam podcast. Joining me today, we have a very special guest. Today, we have the elite of the elites. We have four-time Olympic swimming medalist, seven-time world championship medalist, two-time Olympian, and team Speedo Athlete, Abbey Weitzeil. How you doing?
Hello. Good. I'm great. How are you?
I like that you went vertical to get your full Speedo brand
yes.
there.
You got to show the Speedo off.
Here's an insight into the future. You're going to, you're gonna have a great life. You obviously are developing great habits and hobbies now to live beyond swim. You've got that Cal education behind you, and the only thing you're gonna have few remnants that actually see the light of day in your life, and it's going to be the Speedo sweatshirt and that comfy Speedo sweatshirt and the Speedo t-shirt that you're going to wear around your house.
Oh my gosh, I have so many Speedo sweatshirts and they're all so soft. I love them all. I have like XLs because sometimes or 2XL. I have like a 2XL one that I like to just like curl up in. And then I have ones that actually fit me. And then I have ones that they've made me for trials with my name on it. I have so many. There's so many options all the time.
Well, before we get into it, guys, if you're on Instagram, don't blow up her DMs, but you can follow her at Abbey Weitzeil. She's got the blue check mark. She's legit. But if you really do a deep dive, if you really want to know what's going on, you've got to follow her other account, AW_refurbished. If you're not following that, then you really don't know.
I randomly post on it. I've started back up again. I like all your
posts.
I have a piece sitting out in my yard right now I'm working on. I know. When I restarted it, I didn't touch it for like a year. Like I started it in quarantine, and then I had like trials in the Olympics, and then just ISL and et cetera, et cetera. So I had all of the traveling, and I never got to it. And then a year later, recently, I was like, I'm going to get back into that. So I have some new posts up there, and I was like, maybe I'll put it on my real Instagram and people will actually follow this one. So
I never thought that I would be a person who would, it's like the IG thing that I'm into. It's like I pull up the account. Oh, it's furniture. Ooh, look what you can do with this furniture. So you refurbish furniture.
Learning. I do. I'm learning. I'm a very artsy person. I have been for a long time, and I love to do art and paint and draw. And I have to be in the mood for actually like drawing and stuff. And in quarantine, as we all did, picked up random habits or hobbies. And I picked up furniture refurbishing, and it's just like something fun and artsy to do during the day. When I'm not training, that gets me like out of swimming mode. And I really like that. It's just something like creative for me to do. And it's like a little side hustle too. I flip it and I sell it, and it's really fun, especially living in the Bay Area. There's so many options for like used furniture on like Marketplace, which is where I normally get my stuff. So, or living in Oakland and Berkeley, there's a lot of stuff put on the side of the road, like from college students and et cetera, et cetera. So I just find it and I redo it, and it's super fun.
Would this side hustle develop into a career?
I don't know. I don't really know if I could like make a whole living off of it. I would have to gain some more followers and like be kind of a social media platform as a career. And then I don't think I can make enough just off the furniture. I would have to be like banging those things out. But who knows? I don't really know what I want to end up doing. I could see myself doing a lot of different things. But I think I for sure will like to do something. I know I have to do something creative when I'm done swimming still. So
the secret sauce of all great artists is truly a secret. Like Michelangelo. Everyone thinks Michelangelo did all of that work. No, that was a CEO position. And so you could get your minions below you doing your type of refurbishing, and then you could scale it out.
Oh my God. I know if I really want to do it, I can find a way. I'm not sure if that's like what I want to end up doing for a living, but who knows? I don't know. I'm taking one step at a time.
I'm doing a really evil thing, which is you have swimming, which is like this thing that everyone does and they love, and it makes you, puts you in the present, and it makes you healthy. But you have this side hustle, which during the pandemic, which obviously you were able to focus on, not think about swimming, not think about anything else, and be present with what you're doing. And I'm
Yeah.
screwing it up.
No, 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 no. I like, it's funny because when I turned pro and my NCAA season was over, I stopped. It happened to be quarantine year, so that was my lead into pro. Was quarantining. But what COVID taught me, like being in quarantine and also like living the pro life, is that I really need to be intact with my life outside of swimming to be successful in swimming. If I have just swimming, especially recently, like it'll drive me nuts. So I really have to have something going on outside of the pool, which is like my furniture, even if it's small. I have 2 dogs. They drive me crazy. I take them out every day. Some responsibility to do outside of swimming. Otherwise, I'm gonna go insane. So I think just being in the sport longer, not that I don't love it anymore. I still love it. But just like finding other things to do in my life and feeling like I have something else in my life besides swimming. So just personally, if I just live and breathe swimming all day long, all the time, I'll probably quit.
we're going to get into swimming. I'm just real curious about you. And we're going to get into swimming so that people, there's some interesting topics I want to cover, but I just wanted to check in with you about the refurbishing, because it's the one thing I do. If I ever see your account, I always pop over and look at your other account.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm into that. It's, something I think that's interesting is that from the outside looking in, it appears that, elites are getting older and older. They're having longer and longer careers, but the ones that are successful do continue to live and become adults and develop these other interests. And they last longer when they do that. Can we throw basketball in the mix? I understand you're a big basketball fan.
I actually am not. Well, I do enjoy. Okay, so wait, where do you get that from?
I talked to staff and said, "Hey, give me something left field." They're like, "She's a basketball fan." So I don't know where that came from. I think people
probably if you just talk to someone, probably someone said that because of my latest Instagram post. I enjoy going to games. Like I love going to sports games, like football, basketball. Did I grow up watching sports? No. I wish I did, but I didn't. My family didn't watch sports when I grew up. My boyfriend's family, I live with my boyfriend, huge sports fan. So I have sports on more often in my home, I guess you could say. But I love going to sports games, whatever it is. And I was recently invited to the March Madness game that was in San Francisco, which is why someone probably was like, she's a huge basketball fan. So that was so cool. And I really enjoyed that. But do I sit on my couch and know what's going on the entire season? No, I'm not going to lie. I don't. But on the bright side, for whoever is watching next to me on the couch, I'm a bandwagoner and I'll root for your team. So
the question was a fail. We'll just call it what it was.
I'm sorry. I know. I can't lie. You're like, I hear you're a basketball fan. And I'm like, well, no, but I wish I was. And I went to the Duke game and I feel like I'm a bandwagoner Duke fan now. So there we go. I would love to grow into a basketball fan.
So it's your boyfriend has it on, it's on the house, but what are you streaming? What's your go-to
for TV?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love TV. I'm an avid TV watcher.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll watch anything. I love my favorite show of all time. I am known for loving Friends, New Girl, those kind of comedy shows. I love them. I could watch them all day long. Great background noise. And they just make me laugh. I love crime shows. I love movies. I love all types of shows. I'll watch anything. So, I love when a new show comes on, and it gets popular and it's really good because I'll just binge it. But I would say for the average, just background noise, throwing something on the TV, probably New Girl or Friends or something like that. I love just a good giggle.
Okay. I'm Gen X. So, Friends was happening when I was living in LA. It was, it was a thing. It was a weird thing. And my daughter's about your age, and she is so into Friends, would binge it all the time. It was always on. It was background, always on background. So
it's a great background shows. Like any of those types of shows. Like I said, New Girl, The Office. I love them all, and I'll just have them on. But I do love to binge a good new show, serious action, whatever it may be. So.
All right. So we covered furniture. We found out that basketball is a fail, but you're supportive.
I don't know who got that I was a huge basketball fan. It must have been my recent Instagram post, but that's sure. Yeah. I do love going to games. I don't want people to think I hate sports.
I mean, I think with your hardware, your Olympic hardware and your experience, I don't think anyone's gonna level that at you. But the so here's the thing. I don't want to go into like look back at the pandemic and talk about it's kind of been positive for you, but it was a stressful time. The Olympics were a stressful time, and we can talk about boundaries now. I can say, you know what, you've let us know at SwimSwam. You said, hey guys, come on, we're human beings here. You have good boundaries. So I think that's tough to manage when you're an elite, and I'm a proponent of good boundaries. So if you had to talk to any developing elites, we have younger, Speedo stars coming up. We got Erica Sullivan's new to the team Speedo, and she is very engaged. What's your advice to someone like an Erica Sullivan?
I think, some people are more vocal about their opinions on social media. Some people aren't. I would say I'm not very vocal necessarily about politics or anything on social media. If someone straight up asks me something, I'll tell them what I think. I'm not going to lie. So my advice people are different, but I felt the need to be like, hey, SwimSwam, I didn't appreciate this. And I think I said it in I said it on, so people know what I'm talking about. I said it on Instagram. I DM them back because I was tagged in something. And I think I was stressed out, and it was around trials. And I was like, I don't appreciate this article. And I think it's okay to say that. I think my advice is to always stay respectful, no matter what you're saying on social media or to someone in general, try and say it in a respectful way. But don't be afraid to voice your opinion, don't hide under a rock. And, if you're a vocal person, I know Erica is, like you mentioned her, so, go for it. But my advice would be media can be harsh sometimes, and just always try and stay respectful, and just to be humane, and also just for the pushback of social media.
We always feel like SwimSwam is definitely the hard grinding, lay on your base season type work. And because when you show up at certain big meets, then you're dealing with major media, and that can be very interesting, because they can just do the cursory little bio type reporting, hitting the high points. But sometimes it can be harsh. Sometimes you're really harsh. But talk to me about. I think a lot of it
stems.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I didn't want to interrupt you if you have something to say.
No, I was just going to say, I think a lot of the stress or the things that get to me about it are the comparisons between people. There's the difference between, reporting someone's times and then vividly stating this person did this, and now looks like this person's now for sure going to win. Like, no doubt about it. I think it just, as much as we try as athletes to not let that get to us, it does sometimes. And I try not to read things like that. And it happens to come across my feed a lot. And I think it just can mess with you, especially when you're in such a stressful environment. You're a few weeks away from Olympic trials, one of the most stressful meets in the world. Everything's going 100 miles an hour in your brain, and just reading something like, oh, even just an article, it's like, why do I care? But it's like, oh, you're not going to win anymore, Abby, like, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh my gosh, are they right? So I think, it just comes across and across and across as just being overwhelming. And I think that's where it comes and stems from. So the difference between reporting and stating invalid things, maybe.
Opinions matter. And
opinions do matter. And
Your opinion
Yeah.
was heard. It was heard. It was heard very loudly.
And I never want to be disrespectful, but that's where it stemmed from.
Well, I
And I think
appreciate
a
that.
lot of people, yeah, I think I was just in a zone to speak on behalf of a way I know a lot of athletes feel too sometimes. So, which just stems from stress, honestly.
Trials is a pressure cooker.
It is a pressure cooker, and it is one of the most stressful meets in the world for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad that I'm never going to go to another trial.
I know. I probably have one more in me, and then, I might be watching from then on out.
That there's that moment when everyone retires and it's bittersweet, but it's, oftentimes when athletes get to the end, they're like, when you start thinking these thoughts of like, I'm never really going to feel that much pain again. I'm never going to have to
I know.
force myself into this kind of pain, or emotional or physical. And suddenly, you're like, I'm okay with this transition. It's good.
Yeah. I at one point, I have a couple more years left in me, I think, but there is a time when I'm like going to be able to let it go, be sad, but be like, I had my run. Now I'm going to enjoy watching people have their run.
Well, you're in the thick of it now, and this year is another weird year. World Championships were off, then they were back on. Has it been hard to stay focused with that happening? It's like we're in the middle of a war, and suddenly FINA saying Russian athletes, Belarusian athletes can't attend, they can't participate. I just feel like we came out of the pandemic into an Olympics and into this year, and it's been chaotic again. So, where's your head at?
Yeah, it definitely caught me off guard when Worlds got rescheduled. It was canceled, and I was like, okay, you know what? Like a year off or a summer off, not going to be bad. Good mental break before the next chaotic year and a half comes, where there's like 3 million world championships and like I feel like 5 million Olympics are coming up. Like I feel like that's what it feels like in my brain. And then it got rescheduled, and the fact that the dates got switched really messed with me because I have, a lot of things happening. Like I said, I need to be in touch with my outside life, and I have a lot of things going on this year with family and friends, a lot of weddings going on, and the things that I really want to be a part of, life events for my friends and family. And it happens, Worlds got rescheduled, and now it's during one of my friends' weddings and during one of the bachelorette parties I'm in that wedding for. So it's during important life events that I have to make a decision about. So it's definitely hard. It brings a different level of stress, especially, not expecting it at all, especially after World was just completely canceled. So, and then the war going on. And then, so there's a lot going on. It adds a different level of stress. It's earlier in the year. I have trials in 3 weeks, and it's crazy. I'm like, I'm not ready. Like, oh my gosh. So it's definitely like a different feeling, a different level of stress. And that's where I just kind of have to take it one day at a time and just do my best and see what happens and make a decision after and see where everything leads. So, it's different than any other year, especially knowing that I have a lot coming up as well. And then ISL getting postponed and, so many different things maneuvering around. So, I know it's not just me. Everyone has things going on in their life too. So I know a lot of people were a little crazy sad when World's dates got moved.
Talk to a lot of elites on camera, off camera, in text messages, and I'm not the only person who was like, oh, I will. The only person who was like, I want there to be a world championships was Caleb. And I'm like, because privately, most everyone was saying, we could just go to nationals in August or just take the summer off.
I don't necessarily want there not to be a world. I was just a little sad that the dates got moved. Like I thought if they were going to reschedule it, they could just leave the original dates because everyone had like life events happening this year. I feel like that were planned around those dates, and now it's moved. So it got a little messed up, and it's sad, but I'm okay with worlds happening if they were just the original dates. But I mean, things happen and you have to make decisions. And if this is the worst decision I ever have to make, it's going to suck. But either way. So yeah.
Fair enough. So on the spectrum, you're like, I'm fine with worlds. Just, stick with the date you had to begin with.
Yeah. Stick with the original dates.
All right. Well, we've got Brent Nelwicky's cell phone number, the CEO, executive director of FINA. You can text him and start giving him a hard time. Tell him
No,
what's
I
up.
don't need to do that.
But you could.
I could. Maybe he'll watch this.
Okay. You here's the thing. You can't, having heard this answer, I still have to ask this question. So I'm going through my questions. So I have to ask swim nerd questions because I go to the staff. Australian sprinting. Clearly on top right now. It's for Team USA, that's like, whoa. So, does it change the way our women's sprint elites think? What has to be done? Is there something that could be learned from that?
There's always more to learn, and Australia has been crushing it, especially on the women's side for sprinting. I definitely would love to see what they're up to over there. You can always learn more, and I'm so intrigued on how they're thriving in women's sprinting so much. Personally, it doesn't change how I think and how I train. I know it works for me, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna change a few things up once in a while. Try something new, see if it works. So I actually have a good friend, Maggie Wilson, and I got really, really close at ISL. So we talked about it actually all the time, and how the US differs from Australia, and how interesting it was on how we do training camps and how we train. And so they've got it going on over there, and they're all really sweet and fast. Was talking about, eventually hoping to go out there and visit Natty and be able to hit up their training a little bit for like a week or so, So Australia is killing it, and the US could definitely, hopefully, give them a run for their money still.
If you showed up on deck, I think they'd be like, hop in, let's go. Down under. If you went down under and
I know, they're so nice. I know. Yeah, they're so nice, and it would be so fun. So that's definitely a goal before I stop swimming, is to get down there and train with Maddie and whoever she trains with. That'd be really fun, and just see their setup, just for the fun of it. So I've been to Australia once before, and it was so fun in 2014 for Pan Pacs. So definitely want to get back there.
So fun, but raining the entire time, right?
Is it? Oh, at Pan Pacs, yeah, it was. It was pouring, but still Australia.
Okay. All right. Well, interestingly, so we're having this conversation. This is recorded. This is going to drop after there's another conversation that's recorded. Interestingly, it's going to be with the new leadership of ISL. And so like the questions I'm going to be asking is, is 2023 really, we're canceled this year? Is 2023 happening? Will all the athletes be compensated in a timely basis? What are you going to do if you're going in 2023 to make the league more exciting and more of a business? Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions that maybe I could ask them?
I don't think so. Man, no, I don't think so. I don't have any questions. Maybe the payment aspect, but like, will we get paid? That's a hope. So, but no, I don't. I think they're changing it every year. They do it. There's something different, and they're trying to figure out what works best and what keeps people coming back. So I think they're figuring out things on their own. But no, personally, I don't have any questions. My dog is going crazy.
I was hoping you'd have a singer. You could just like, Mel, you need to ask them this.
No, I don't. I don't have any questions.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry to be boring.
You're not boring. We'll figure it out. I do think it's interesting. So the person, Konstantin Kudreyev, is no longer CEO. They have they're gonna have a new CEO and a new commissioner. So I actually like what I'm hearing so far, but it's yet to be seen, and they can answer our questions.
Yeah.
Some things I remember in terms of just in the past, and in terms of your coverage, because I read a lot of, I'm on the business side of SwimSwam, so I read a lot of it like a fan, and it just sort of rolls through the feed, and I'm reading. Do you have any issues with your wrist? Any injury there, or is that healing, or is it like?
Oh, with my elbow?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't really have any issues. It gets sore randomly, but like actually it was sore pretty much today in the water, but no, I don't have any issues with it. That was luckily a no break situation. So just really badly sprained, a couple minor tears that happened, but no, luckily that's long behind me and no issues there.
Cool. Is there a difference between training undergrad and training as a pro at Cal?
Yeah, I think just mentally. I still train with the college team. Definitely like in situation right now, they just got back from NCAA. So I was swimming, doing sets like by myself, or when the girls are completely gone, I have the pleasure of swimming with the guys. And so I have someone to train with, luckily. But other than that, like today, since I'm tapering differently than other people because they just got off of me, I'm swimming by myself basically, but still at the same time as the college team. So I think mentally it's just different. It's harder for sure, just because you don't have a whole team with the same goal. You're not all one going for spring NCAAs. You're not going to Pac-12s. You're not traveling to meets. You're not having like those dual meets. So it's definitely different. It's harder mentally, I think. For me, especially, I don't love swimming alone. So it's definitely harder. But there are a lot of perks to it also. I am in that stage of my career where I'm old enough where I don't have to do as many doubles as them. I can do other things. I know when I need a little bit less, a little bit more. I can kind of just like go by the seat of my pants and talk with Terry about it instead of just like, here's a schedule, you're doing it like every other person here. So there's some perks, and then there's the fallback, so I definitely am struggling with it still, and have in the past, like just kind of not being a part of the team. But I'm getting used to it, and I'm finding things and ways to make it work. So yeah.
Cal's always been, this epicenter of talent, and it's and the history goes deep. But how soon did you guys know about Maggie MacNeil going to Cal?
Oh, I knew a little bit ago. Terry told me probably maybe a month or two ago, a couple months ago, maybe, that she was looking, and she was waiting to hear back about her application. And then it was finalized a couple weeks ago, and I found out. And I think it'll be great. I think it's always awesome to have someone with her talent come into the program, especially from a different program. You can always learn something from a different program, so she can bring something, and Terry can help her in different ways she's never experienced. And so I think it's going to be really good for the program. And obviously she's super fast, so to have her there in training too will help other people. It'll help me. So yeah, it'll be fun.
No, it's a big talent. Are you guys buddies? Do you guys know each other, or is this going to be a new relationship?
I know her. I don't know her super well. I mean, I've met her. We're acquaintances. We'll probably become friends once I get to know her more. She's super nice.
She's a Speedo athlete.
I know her, but I don't like on a personal level know her yet.
Speedo family's tight. It's got to be tight.
Yeah, I haven't been at a shoot with her yet, so.
That's right. You have to. You've got to be. You got to do a shoot. You got to hang out in the trailer and eat craft services together.
I know.
Text your coach and say, "Yeah, I got my workout in," but it was really just warm up.
Yeah. Oh, you know too well.
Yeah, I do. All right. Let me ask you this. Let's bring it back to Speedo, and let's talk about being a part of the Speedos Make Waves campaign. Tell me about that. Was that pretty cool?
That was awesome. So fun. I remember being asked to do it, and I was like so honored. I was like, this is awesome. And I went to a shoot. I did like a day trip to LA for a shoot for that. Jamal was there. That's when I first met Jamal, and we did a shoot together. The photos were so cool. I had my face plastered on like a giant building off the 405 in LA, and I was like, this is so weird. But it was so cool to be able to be a part of that and actually like hopefully, be a part of a campaign that means something too. But for my part of the campaign was female body positivity. And how being muscular isn't always seen as, feminine, and how as an athlete, sometimes that's just like what you look like. You spend years training, you're going to have muscle, etc. So that was my part of the campaign. And I thought it was really, really, really awesome to be a part of, and that they asked me to do it. So Speedo's always coming up with things like that they're trying to make a difference, not only just in like the sport, but in like, the world, I guess you could say, especially like female empowerment and different parts of people other than just sport. So I think it's really cool, and I loved it.
I like Speedo's, I don't want to say political, but it is kind of a political orientation, and I like the things that they stand for. And snooping, I sometimes I feel like I've seen some tweets from you, and they've really been about sports empowering women. Is that something?
I haven't been on Twitter in years.
I've seen them. Am I wrong?
I mean, maybe past ones. I have no idea. I have to go on my. I don't even think I have it on my phone anymore.
I've got it right here. I'm scrolling.
Please
through.
Show me. What did I tweet? I literally don't know. I don't even think it's downloaded on my phone anymore. But I'm sure it is. I'm sure I've retweeted stuff or whatever. But maybe it was. Oh yeah, I don't really know. Maybe it was like some of the stuff from college swimming or something like that. But
from college swimming. But no, it falls in line with your Make Waves campaign.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I didn't tweet anything in my sleep. I don't remember tweeting anything unless I got hacked.
I just like that you said your Twitter's deleted. It's kind of a shouting match.
I actually don't really use Twitter. Maybe I should start again. Maybe this is a sign. No, I have too much social media. I don't need to do that.
Do you answer?
I'm trying to get off social media.
Do you answer your DMs on Instagram?
I don't see all of them, but I do try to, some of them, yes.
It's so weird that you could be a 12-year-old. I'm a 12-year-old female kid who's like just immersed in the sport and love it so much. And Abby's, I love Abbey, and you can just DM them. I
know. Well, it goes so. I think my account doesn't tell me when I have a new DM or a request or anything. So all the DMs, if I don't follow you, they go to my requests. And the requests, like I don't scroll through. And I rarely look at the requests too. So if someone DMs me and I don't respond, I'm sorry, but I just haven't seen it. Like it just goes to my request. I don't get a notification or anything. So that's the way. Yeah.
Just as an observation, it's just like that everybody's so accessible. And swimming, stars have always been kind of accessible to the base and to everybody. And it's been this, familial experience. We are super close to age groupers, to their parents, to, everybody knows everybody. But in the world of social media, it's like, let's just say that little Melvin would have been DMing, a lot of people all the time. If they ever scroll through the requests, you'd just be like, who is this person?
No, I never think that. I just, I don't get to all of them. So I'm sorry.
Would you have done that? Let's just go back in time.
Would I have done that? Oh yeah, for sure.
And I would have
been all of it. I still DM people that will never see my DMs. Like, I don't know.
Like who? What swimmers?
Like famous people. No, like famous people. Like not like athletes, but like I don't know.
Well, did you? Well, that's a good question. Did you have somebody when you were younger and you're like, I look up to this athlete. I'd like to emulate them.
I mean, so I started swimming really late. So everyone's like, when you were really young, who did you like? And I'm like, I didn't even like watch swimming or know about swimming when I was really young. I started really late. So I like learned the strokes when I was 9. Like learned what breaststroke was when I was like 9 years old. So I would say once I learned swimming, I always looked up to like Natalie Coughlin and Weitzeil. I loved them both, and I was even ever since I've been on a team with Weitzeil in 2014. Like she was always like my literal idol. So in swimming, that's who I looked up to. When I was younger, like I said, I didn't grow up around sports. So I never really had like a huge athlete that I looked up to. And I wish it was different, honestly, but until I was submerged in swimming myself, I don't think I ever was like aware of how cool sports were and how many. Yeah.
You drop Weitzeil. I like Weitzeil. Everybody if you don't like
Weitzeil,
I can't like you.
I can't like you if you don't like Weitzeil. Like, who doesn't like Weitzeil? I know she's probably everyone's hero, but she is literally she's just so cool.
Weitzeil is cool, and
she's so really cool.
Yeah, and she's in the NBC seat. She's being groomed to take that position that Rowdy's had forever.
And she's so good at it.
Yes, she's fantastic.
She's so good at it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you dropped Weitzeil, and I also like knowing this about you, that like you started so late. It's like you didn't have, I had endless people that I thought that they were just swimming gods, and I worshiped them. I would say my little prayers to them every night. I'd pray to Pablo Morales and Rowdy Gaines as a small young swimmer. But you didn't do that.
I didn't. I didn't even start swimming till later. So, different route for me.
That's okay. All right. Well, you know what? I've held you for longer than I should have, but I feel like I know you a little bit better. So hey, I have two questions. Do you have are you somebody who has like a daily affirmation, or is there like a ritual thing you do? Because you talked about, being outside of swim and having, you have your refurbishing, just having a life outside the sport. But do you have something that, that like you live by?
I don't think I have like an affirmation that I say every day. I try to find the positive in the day, no matter what. Like if I'm having a hard day, I'll try and find the positive. I haven't done it in a while. I have a gratitude journal next to my bed that I do sometimes. Especially when I've had a hard day, I'll just be like, what was good out of today? And I try, like, obviously we all get in our moods and our days. But I definitely try and find something that is positive of the day, whether that be like, it was really warm out today and I got to take my dogs to the park, or it was really warm out and I got to go swimming today. That's something I enjoyed, with my afternoon practice with the sun. So some days are like awesome and I don't even have to think about it. And then some days, I'll have them like, I'm struggling with, swimming or something. And I'm like, well, what's something good that came out of today? Or what's something that I could be grateful for today? So that's something that I try to do. And it really helps me a lot. And I would say I have an affirmation, but I guess you could call that an affirmation. So it's just finding something positive in the day.
Do you have a gratitude journal?
I do.
You do? Did you, just out of curiosity, have you always had one, or did you start one during the pandemic maybe?
I started one because Terry gave us one when I was still on the team. And the team still does it. I don't have mine, but she gave the team one, I think in 2019, maybe she started it, or I don't even know, 2020, I don't know. She gave us all our own 5-minute journals. And we would do it as a team every morning in the team room. You'd have your journal, you just keep it in your locker, or something. And you, like, before we get in the pool, everyone would just like fill out their journal really quick. And the team still does that. They'll just like quickly take 2 minutes or something and jot down like their intention for the day and like something they're grateful for. And so Terry started that. And then when I was off the team, I didn't get another book, so I bought my own. So so I have it next to my bed.
Good for you. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
It's really fun.
Okay. Final question. You got to knock this out of the park. This is a big closer.
Okay.
Probably should have warned you ahead of time. What's in your Speedo bag? What's your go-to? What's your one piece of Speedo gear? It's like, this is, the world, the apocalypse happens. I've got to hang on to this.
Oh, there's a couple. I love my pink and white cowl cap that they made me, my Speedo cowl cap. with my name on it. We always get to do custom colors, and I did a white cap with pink logo and name. And so I love that. And I get compliments on it all the time. So probably my cap and my goggles, I wear the Speed Sockets, and they're also my favorite in the world. They're so comfortable, and I race in them, etc. So my cap and my goggles, never changing up. My Speed Sockets and my pink and white cow cap.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.